Good afternoon, everyone. A very warm welcome to this session on OSH as a driver of safe and healthy digital technologies for work. My name is Dietmar Elzler. I'm a senior project manager at EU-OSHA. And I'm very proud to present this session because this was also created by our network of campaign partners, which is quite a special network to the agency. So we are a network of, let's say, volunteering organizations supporting the agency. And my presentation. Can we start my presentation, please? Okay. And just to introduce you shortly, and maybe we can use this to advertise a little bit this network, because we have this good practice exchange network of campaign partners. So these can be international organizations, international federations like the European Federation of Ergonomics or PEROSH, the organization of the scientific institutes, but also multinational companies. And we have regular workshops together on the topic of the campaigns, which is on the one hand of the benefit, of course, for the partners to exchange their good practices, also to increase their visibility, but also clearly an added value for EU-OSHA, now that we are closer connected to the workplace, that our campaign messages reach really the workplace, and also in the discussion with our campaign partners that we can adapt our products to the workplace, that we really reach the workplace level. You see here a picture from our last meeting at ZF in Portugal, and we have also Regine Mägerlein here, who will present shortly the good practices of ZF regarding OSH and digitalization. And it has clear advantages for the campaign partners also regarding their visibility. We are promoting this on our website, for example, and we invite them also to the networking events, like to the summit here. So, and we have also last May we had our partnership meeting in Brussels, where we exchanged good practices. This photo is from the last meeting we had with Boehringer Ingelheim. This is also presented here with Beatrice Eltermann. Okay, so now let's come to the program, as we have a very full agenda here today. So this is our last good practice exchange meeting in Brussels, and we can give you just a taste here of the many activities we have done there. So I would welcome our first speaker, Regine Mägerlein from ZF. This is an automotive company, and she's the head of global environment, health and safety at ZF LifeTech, with 27 years of experience in health and safety management. And she has a background in environmental engineering, is a certified safety officer, so in German Fachkraft für Arbeitssicherheit, so we have something in common there. And she and with her organization, they contributed a lot to our campaign with good practice examples. So thank you very much, and now it's your turn, Regine.
Okay, hope you can hear me okay. So thank you, Dietmar, for introducing me. It's always a pleasure being at these conferences. I have attended many in the last, I think it's already 10 years that we are a partner. So it's always very fruitful discussions, and the networking is excellent. So we get always a lot of ideas, what other partners do, which we can take home, and also we have always a possibility to share what we do in our company, and that's what I'm going to do right now. So just very briefly what our company is about. Our company is all about safety. What is our mission? Our mission is saving lives, because we produce automotive parts, we produce airbags and seatbelts, and we have saved a lot of lives, I think. So we are continuously working on this, improving technology, making sure the passengers are safe in the car. And actually you can imagine, if safety is our business, safety is also important to our factories, to our employees. So there's a lot of attention being placed on safety. And we have an overarching program which we call Our Way to Safety Excellence. And actually this program consists of 3 key areas. One is the more classic part, which is very technical, focusing on technical improvements, having a management system in place with processes and procedures. But there are also 2 other important areas, and if you don't focus on those, you wouldn't be very successful. So one thing is getting the employees on board so they understand how they can impact their safety and the safety of their colleagues. And so we have a lot of employee participation programs. But what is really very important is engaging our leaders for safety. And we have also a strong program getting the leaders involved, which we call our Safety Leadership Program, making sure that the leaders understand how they can influence safety with their leadership. And what I'm going to present is connected to all the 3 of these key areas. So for each of it, you will see some examples on how we follow our overall concept. So the first thing I want to show you is about our internal traffic. So any producing company needs to move around materials and finished products. So we do. We have launched a lot of initiatives reducing risks to employees, risks of vehicle and pedestrian collisions. So we've set up barriers, we have put segregation measures, we have reduced forklifts. Most of our sites are free of forklifts in production or in areas where we have a lot of people around. But, well, yeah, I mean, you can optimize, you can train people, you can raise awareness, but there's always a residual risk, right? And you will always find some blind spots where it's very difficult to manage the risk and to get the risk down. And this is when technology comes in. So actually, we were looking for solutions. How can we deal with this blind spot? And one of the solutions that has been implemented at our sites is what I'm showing here. It's actually a gate that is managed by AI, and this is able to detect a vehicle coming while also a pedestrian is coming. And I'll show you quickly how that works. So you have this interaction in this path coming. The red one is the forklift coming, and the pedestrian way. And you see what's happening if the AI detects a vehicle. Actually giving an alarm. So, and if it works again, no it doesn't. Okay, so maybe I'll try again. No, it doesn't work again. Let me just click on it. Next one, anterior, siguiente. Okay. So I think you've seen that. Let me move on to the next one in order to not lose time fiddling. I think you've seen it, how it works. So the other thing we did is this example. We have a lot of initiatives in terms of automatization, automating ergonomically awkward tasks, repetitive tasks, to make sure we reduce the exposure to bad postures and to repetitive movements for our employees. And obviously, we are automotive industry, to improve our productivity and to maintain our competitiveness. So this is one example where we automized the task, which was manual lifting boxes of airbags that need to go through a metal detector. You don't want to have a metal piece in an airbag. And that was really bad in terms of ergonomics. So we developed a robot-managed station, so the ergonomics risk went away. But, I mean, robot station is something that you need to really think well how you develop your safety concept, right? So everything is in place, guarding and procedures, lockout, takeout procedures, but we have still the human beings around, don't we? And things can be bypassed. So we thought we add some additional safety, so the AI doesn't replace actually other safety systems, but it's an add-on, and this is very important to keep in mind if we use such systems for additional safety. So what we've done, we have installed some cameras detecting people in the hazard zone of the robot, where the robot's moving around, and if the camera detects a person, everything is stopped, so nothing's going to work. So there's no way to have the system run if there is a person present in the hazard area. So additional safety. What we are experimenting with as well right now, but that's more pilot, because I'm a bit, I'm very careful with those kind of things, because they might also impose complacency of people. But sometimes you reach a limit with generating awareness of people, training people. We have human failures, people forget to put on necessary PPEs, and I fully agree we should use all the time the hierarchy of control, engineering risks out rather than putting PPE, but sometimes you just don't have another option available in the short term. So that's something that we are trying. And what we do here is we've installed a camera to detect the eye protection. If the person at the station doesn't wear the eye protection, and it can actually distinguish between ordinary spectacles and safety glasses. So, and then the machine wouldn't run. So it doesn't work, so the employer has to take the safety glasses, right? So this is a specific application, and we need to make sure things like this are really well thought when we implement those things. The other thing where we use AI, and this is very nice as well, is tools to assess ergonomics risks. It makes us fast. It helps us a lot to identify quickly some risks, to determine where do we have some issues and where can we do quickly some improvements. So this is an example of also manual box handling. We used AI to quickly assess the activity. We could also use the data showing this to management and get some money for a lifter. We implemented a lifter then, and you see in this video, this is after we made the improvements, and you see also the rating of the activity analyzed by this AI tool, where you see it's green now. So it helps us getting quickly identified risks and make some improvements. So you just take a video, you feed it into the system, and then you get this result and you can work with it. There are many applications available readily on the market that you could explore. So I said we do also engage our people, both leaders and employees. So what we've done, we have developed some assistance to help the organization to get quicker information, to get some aid if they want to, for example, the leaders, if they want to talk about something. But the purpose is really easing things, removing barriers, and they can get quick information. That's all connected to our internal documents. So it's not internet search, but they are fed with internal information from our management system, from our program. So if they have specific questions to our internal requirements and programs, they can go there and get the information out very quickly. So that saves time in front of the computer and brings them back to the shop floor, because this is where I need them to make improvements. And just one example before I think I conclude. This is our safety talks generator. We've developed that especially for our leaders, because we want them to talk about safety, because what you don't talk about, people don't think it's important, and we keep teaching them on this. And we've developed here an aid for any kind of leaders, from the very top to the shop floor or the shift leader, so they can just go in, okay, what should I talk about, and ask the assistant. And they even suggest topics. You can pick one, and then you get your talking points. You can do it from the mobile phone, or you print it out, whatever you wish, and then you have something to talk about, right? Because sometimes our leaders struggle to talk about safety, don't they? But this is a very simple tool that can support them in doing this. And yeah, so my time is running, I think, Dietmar. How much time? Yeah. I wrap up now, yes. So yeah, I think what we are trying to do when we use AI for EHS is exploring how we can use AI to support our mission, keeping people safe. So use it in a way that we all benefit from it. And I think it's an exciting technology. We need to keep the risks in the background, but yeah, I think there are so many benefits in it also, right? In predicting potential hazards, in detecting unsafe conditions, and helping people to be safe. And yeah, I mean, people make decisions all the time when at work, and this AI can really be very helpful if it's used in the right way. And also, what we want to achieve, it generates engagement. People like to try new things, don't they? And actually, a lot of these ideas I was showing came from bottoms up, right? We can only help and manage things and help them to implement ideas and share ideas and engage with them, but we wouldn't develop the system on site. It's the site doing this. So this is how we work. We engage our EHS communities and the leaders using technologies for the good, making things better, and yeah, supporting us on our way to safety excellence. So, and with this, thank you very much. And I'm happy to receive any questions if there are any. Or we.
Yes. Thank you, Regina. Thank you for your examples from the workflow, from the operation, and it's good to see how you use this technology, how you use it for safety, for supporting safety, but also that you have and keep the risks in the background. Are there any questions from you, or maybe from outside? Because we also have questions.
There's one.
Thanks a lot, because incredible presentation, an incredible quantity of questions, but one about ergonomic risk, because I have a big problem in Europe, for example, because each country uses different methodologies, so with EVA, MAPO, RULA, OCRA, no? So if you started to use artificial intelligence to evaluate this kind of risk, what method are you using, for example?
We can actually choose. The current one is based on the ISO standards. And I know from Italy, yeah, I mean, you are from Italy, aren't you? And the Italian guys, they don't accept this tool. So we are currently looking into a new one, because there are tools on the market that have all, or that built in all these different methods, and you can choose them. So there are tools that have RULA, that have OCRA, that have what have you on standards behind, and you can then, if you make your assessment, you upload your video and choose which standard you want for the analysis. So
great, thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yes, please.
So another question? Yeah.
I have a business-related question about the trustness to this solution, because most of the health and safety elements, like products, systems, are somehow certified, approved by the competent authorities, laboratories. Digital solution, not really. So you can trust what the company bring to you, but at the end it's a kind of black box. So how is the human-software relation, including your experts, and how you build a trust, or how was this, let's say, step-by-step trust built before the implementation?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think there are two aspects. One aspect is this IT aspect. So we have experts looking at this solution. So the supplier would have to demonstrate to our IT experts how the system works and if it's in compliance with data protection and what have you, right? And then we have our engineering department looking at the real technical and functional side. So we would have a lot of proofs together with the supplier, and the supplier need to certify that it works before we would put it into production, right? We would not just install it and, okay, let's go, but there is a process behind, of course.
Do you hear me? Oh, now it's working. I have a question about the image detection system on the robots. I guess it's in real time. How does that work? Is there any issues with GDPR or anything with that you've... How does that work? Do you know?
Oh, I'm not too much a technical expert.
Okay.
But I mean, the camera, it feeds the footage somehow, and AI analyzes and would detect this as a person, and it's interlocked or connected with the machine steering system, and then it would shut down. If the AI says, hey, there's a person, then shuts down the robot. Okay. So don't ask me the details, I don't know. Okay. Because this is our experts doing this.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, because of the time, maybe at the end there's some time for more questions. But for now, thank you, and we go on to the next speaker.
Yeah, thank you very much, Anik, my colleague, for introducing to the discussion. And now I would like to ask the next speaker, Beatrice Eltermann. She is Head of Global Occupational Health and Safety at Boehringer Ingelheim, a pharmaceutical company from Germany. Her background is in civil engineering, and she worked as EHS leader in pharma, in luxury and in construction sectors. And we are very glad to have you in our network. Now you also supported us with a meeting, for example, and with many good practice examples in our different conferences. So we are very curious to hear, Beatrice, about your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm very proud to be with you today. First external meeting for me in my whole career, so very happy to be there. I have chosen, and that's great that Regina may show a very concrete example, to talk to you more about the journey we have in a pharmaceutical company, because as well we are very front runners sometimes in digitalization, and I want to talk to you how we do it somehow here. So Boehringer Ingelheim, quickly. Boehringer Ingelheim is a family-owned company, German company. It was founded in the late 90th centuries. And 54,000 employees and lots of R&D. We have to invest a lot from pharmaceutical every time. That's really critical for us. We have both business, human pharma, animal health, and the net sales is around 26 billion euro. So the journey I propose you is really to remind ourselves and to try to align why safety and health are must lead digitalization as well. Very important that we have to trust in yourself, and we have to trust in ourselves, I would say even. That's really important. It's important to defend it everywhere we can. Also to go to some principles here about human-centered platform, decision, and also compliant design. also the psychological, social effect, and how we can somehow contribute to it. And last but not least, having a kind of closing round here. So I wanted to make a slide, though, but Dietmar told me we have no time, so I make the question and the answers for you. I hope you enjoyed it. Okay, so why do we digitalize our practices and activities? So, of course, everybody will think about this: efficiency and speed, data-driven decision, transparency and compliance as well, cost optimization. We will hear that every often, and that's one of the triggers of these projects as well, but also the scalability. That's really important in global company to understand that this is also super challenging, and that helps us to drive the business. And most of the time, the challenge of our organization comes from that we are not early enough involved in the project. Sometimes we really need to have a very efficient cross-functional collaboration. That's super essential here. And for this, you need to convince the other areas to open the doors to your EHS contribution and OHS contribution as well. So we need to convince them also here. Predicting new hazards, and this is clearly coming with digitalization with new hazards. A lot of cultural resistance, people fear to lose their jobs. So what does that mean for me? How will my impact be? How can I benefit from it? And also balancing cost and safety as well. So really here, digitalization without OHS leadership's risk creating unsafe and equitable workplace. Very important here to have it in mind. And when we lead that, the technology becomes a tool for healthier and safer, more productive as well work, not just faster and cheaper. And really the example that Regina was showing us is just amazing as well for me, because it's helped that. So some basics here about principles we need to include in our journey when we implement digitalization. I know you are familiar with that, but just reminding them somehow quickly. First of all, we develop those tools on a user-centered design process. That's really important, and for this we have different approach. I will try to explain some of them, but it should really significantly increase the acceptance and the security, of course. We were talking about GDPR, but clearly here we have a concern as well everywhere of digital system. Then it's also important here, the second big principle is the user participation. We don't develop digital tool for nobody. It's come from the bottom floor, you are saying again, very important. We want to solve issues. So it's really also here key and essential that all the digital projects we drive are also including participation. And last but not least, being transparent. And being transparent in the communication is essential because if not, you just activate frustration, fears, and everything. So what you don't know, just tell it. But what you know, just build on it. And sometimes I try to explain also to all my teams, 80% is already a fantastic achievement. And okay, don't focus only on the 20% you will never achieve. 80% is already just amazing. And together, as a team, we will build on the 20% next steps. And that's the power of digitalization. So practical example, we are trying something with having a clear OHS tech strategy. Normally we use that tech strategy only for our business, but we have decided, let's stop that, just also use the business tools and develop our OHS strategy. And for that, really, we have made co-creation and a very strong cross-collaboration. It's also one way to engage our business in the development of our health and safety. Because if you make this visible, transparent, and co-created with the business, then you can just adhere to it. They understand the purpose, and somehow they even invest for you in the technologies. Promoting user orientation is also here very important. So as was explained before with some example, we use the past experience. We have things to solve, and we use the technology to help us to solve them. So here as well in the journey, we need to prioritize the user needs and the expectation. And this is key and essential to have a successful digitalization as well. And last but not least, reducing complexity. Digitalization is an amazing approach to really avoid double data collection, triple data collection, having workflow not efficient. A lot of tools can be just, if they are well thinked and well integrated, supporters for the future. So just use them as much as we can is essential. Well, how we do that? So first of all, it's really important to, what we start always to do is personas. I'm not sure you know everybody that word, but we try to figure out how our people will deal with this digital approach or digital project first. And that means from the worker to the leader to the expert. So we try to really think what are the needs of each person, because our digital project is also for us important to solve each approach with different perspective, because with digital approach and automation, you can really involve each level of a hierarchy with different needs and different expectations. And of course, it's not only having a theoretic approach, it's also then after that having an iterative process to tackle it. So we try to the different user to include them in the feedback sessions, and as well allow us again to the 80%. We can fail in some area, but at least here we have always 3 phases of development. The first is really the design itself, the development phase. Then we try a pilot. Always we try small before scaling it up to also say, okay, we need to plan a time and budget to readapt slightly the initial project. That's essential here, because if not, you don't give really a very clear opportunity for the workers to adjust what you were thinking at the beginning that is not working exactly how you were thinking about it. So here it's really important. This is the second step, the pilot, and only after we roll out it officially with a big bang and everything. So we really have here this iterative process. And also last and not least, feedback. It's always very important here to involve the user in the decision process. So you need to find ways in the journey as well to have these feedback sessions. And also having a end-to-end approach. And here in the holistic approach, we don't just include the digital system, we also try to connect it with all the offline systems, because it's at the end an end-to-end process. And here it's super important for us not to think only about the performance that will be in the digital tool, but also how does that integrate with all the rest of the processes. Okay, so let's go to the psychological aspect of it as well. Here, I was talking about the fear. I was talking about how to somehow have this trustful environment. So how do we do that? We have pulse check. Pulse check are very small survey, maximum 10 questions, really. 5 questions is the best somehow. And it should be anonymous. You should spread them. You need to get the feedback from the shop floor. It's very important. And sometimes being anonymous is the only way to get an honest result of it. So we just do it. Pulse check is really easy to implement. You can do it everywhere. You can do it for free. It's just really, and it's super essential. It's also taking the time to here deal with the stress. That means identify the psychosocial risk in the workplace at an early stage. And here having some workshop, brainstorming, what we'll face in the project. And last but not least, using the data. Data will be the future. It's already the present, but it should be even more in the future. So also use our data, the existing data we have, to really also take the right decision and optimize here the approach we have. And this we had just before I come yesterday. Yeah, that was the day. That was yesterday. Yesterday we had the Workers' Council of all Germany were just showing us the evolution of a pulse check they made on the digital solution in the company, and that was just amazing. Everybody was seeing the result, and you see the progress, but you see also the challenge, and then that helps to drive the next steps. Let's come to the next point. 1 minute, okay, very short. So we engage our Workers' Council, you get it. Promote open communication here and use participatory approaches. Last but not least here, the last topic I wanted to put on the table is the governance. I could have put it at the beginning. Let's have a very strong governance and deal with our project. I put it at the end. Why? governance is only somehow something which should be dynamic. That means the governance should be inspired by what we put on the table, the challenge we have with digitalization, and adapt it. The governance should be adapted to the next step. And of course, we will integrate the legal aspect, the standard aspect, the ethical regulation, but we need also to integrate our governance, trust, and acceptance. And for that, you need also to organize it. My conclusion here, really is just to focus here. As a campaign partner, I think it's really essential here that we approach all the different approach from research, from the different company, the different sectors. I really appreciate that, as I'm quite new in this network, and I can tell you it's really very interesting to see the different, it's enriching us globally here, and it will really commit us for a healthier and safer and healthier workplace. So, I have a lot of examples here. I will not go through them, but service desk for HR, we use it not only for HR, for engineering, for everybody now. So it's a way to scale it up. We have the remote work since 5 years implemented with Workers' Council guidelines. We have documentation management. We have also the Logipack Center. Now we have the AVG that is using as well. We have also DNA banking automate. I just give some ideas of what it could look like, but most important is the journey. So thank you.
Yes, thank you, Beatrice. Yeah, sorry you had only 10 minutes. Very sorry, but it gave a very interesting insight in your implementation process. Also, how organic. I think that's not a coincidence. How organic you all have done it, because it's really easy to write down that you should do it in a participative way, but you show how it can work. Thank you. Some questions from here or from the online audience. Or it was already very complete. Okay.
Yeah, maybe one question from me then. Beatrice, you showed also how psychosocial risks are managed when you introduced new digitalization. Can you maybe explain that a little bit more?
Yeah. So for psychosocial risk, we have different approach, and we cover that under the well-being system here. So we have also, we use our global employee survey first here, then we have a psychosocial risk assessment, and what we somehow drive worldwide is to have a kind of survey first, anonymous survey. And based on the result of each small team, we ask the leaders to organize a workshop session to really tackle the team result. It's very important. First of all, the result I made transparent to the people in the team. And then, of course, the idea is to really discuss it and to identify really small actions for the team, not for the global organization, but really for really adapted to the team. So it's one of the aspects of it.
Thank you very much, Beatrice. If there are no further questions, I think then we can move to the next speaker, Moritz Schneider. He's a senior specialist in artificial intelligence and software architecture. He's coming from the DGUV, the German Accident Insurance Institution, and he's representing here the PAROSH network, the European Network of Research Organization, or Partnership for European Research Organizations. His background is software engineering, and he's a mathematician. He's a team leader in data science and artificial intelligence at DGUV Research Institute. He's also a lecturer at Koblenz University, and he has won the PAROSH Early Stage Research Award. So he's a brilliant researcher, and you will present us your latest research now, the latest research project.
Yeah, thank you very much for the kind introduction. My name is Moritz Schneider, and I'm very pleased to be able to present to you our current research in our ongoing fight against slip, trip, and fall accident. According to statistics, every fifth work accident in Germany can directly be linked to a slip, trip, and fall accident. Just for the year 2024, we're talking around about 165,000 of these accidents. The impacts vary from smaller injuries to long-term damages, and the rehabilitation costs alone are about 300 million for this year. So you're probably all familiar with the STOP principles, and in many cases, S, T, and O, all measures have been taken. And especially in the steel industry and parcel delivery service, 2 companies contacted us and asked for some support on the P level. And in order to prevent slip, trip, and fall accident, we have to be able to detect them, to know where and when these accidents are happening, and therefore we need a better understanding of the underlying ergonomic patterns. Therefore, we constructed a parcours for slipping, tripping, and misstepping, and participants walking through this kind of like catwalk, and we helped them to lose balance and measured everything that's happening. So let's have a look how these participant walked through a parcours on this example for tripping. On your left-hand side, you see participant walking in a preferred speed, and on the right-hand side in a much faster speed, leading to a higher impact of tripping. So while walking through this parcours, every participant was wearing a full body measurement suit consisting of 17 individual sensors, so-called IMUs, inertial measurement units, measuring every aspect of the human movement. And of course, we really tried to do it as human-centered as possible. So everything was on a free will basis. We have a really good collaboration with the companies, with the OSH professionals on site, with the Workers' Council, ongoing information, discussions, and the traps on the catwalk, they were based on real accident reports. So we tried really to do it on a human-centered approach. And what we came up with is, at least to our knowledge, the world's biggest database on slip, trip, and misstepping. We have around about 1 million usable data points, and they are equally dividable into slip, trip, and misstepping data points, and 50% are baseline walking for reference. And what we did is we tried to train, we used machine learning and tried to train the machine on classification. This is a near fall, and this is activities of daily living, normal walking, so not a near fall. And we got really, really good outcomes. So we got F1 scores. It's like a harmonic mean of precision and recall. It's more reliable than accuracy, but numbers up to 69%, which is close to perfect. But the complete sensor system achieves really good accuracies in classification, but it's really expensive, it's computational intensive, and it's time consuming to put up. So we came up with 3 strategies in reducing the sensors to find like a sweet spot of minimal sensors needed, but still getting high accuracies in classification. So with respect to the time schedule, I will not get a deep dive into the hypothesis and how we reduce the sensors, but there were three research-based approaches in reducing sensors, and what we came up with is like the best trade-off strategy. We only need 2 sensors and still getting accuracies or one scores close to 90%, which is good enough for the work site. We don't need, like in pharmacy, 99.999% accuracies. Getting like pattern recognition with close to 90% for near falls, which we're unable today to identify, is really, really good outcome of this research. So some key findings. What we have seen in the data is that when we get rid of the upper body sensors, we really get a clear reduction in false positives. And based on the findings of the study, we are now going into field studies and find partners, go into work sites, get participants to wear it at a work site, to know where and when these accidents happen, to build like heat maps to know where are the high risk areas, so that the OSH professionals can find some ST&O measures like better lighting, better flooring, handrails, or on a P level find high risk individuals who will benefit from certain training, or at the parcel delivery service, maybe some routes are more dangerous, so maybe high-risk individuals shouldn't work on these lines, on these routes. And through OSH principles, I think if we keep embedding OSH principles and usability principles, what we will hear about in the next talk, I think in the development of AI for near fall detection, I think it's still a long way to a final product, but with embedding OSH principles, it's gonna be a good and safe way into building a more safe future for everybody. Thank you very much.
Really amazing to have such a huge, extensive design in only 8 minutes you did. So that's we thank you for that.
New record.
I think we will never make it, but you did. Indeed, it's a huge, good information about the extensivity of such a development process. And now the next step is how it will work for real. But I will give the floor. I see there are questions already. I think you already have a question. But first, the floor.
Good afternoon. My main question is, which are your targeted industries, or which is the goal to, I mean, I know it's to build better floors and to reduce falling risks, but where do you plan on implementing these things? And then another question is, in order to be that heat map you were talking about, are you planning on censoring how many people, which are the difficulties associated to all these? Because I get what the goal may be, but I see like a lot of difficulties on getting to that final goal. So I don't know if you can clarify a bit about all these things, the targets, the how about, or maybe it's still like an analysis situation and hasn't gone that far. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this interesting question. So the whole study was with partners from the steel industry and the parcel delivery service. So we only have data from this industry or workers working in this industry participating in our study. So our first target audience will be steel workers and parcel delivery workers. But based on the data we collected, it will be pretty easy to get different, to include different areas. And the second question, I think it depends on where we want to generate the heat maps. For smaller areas, we probably need less workers participating in the, let's say, field study. And for larger facilities, we probably need more participants. But like from a high-level view, I hope it will be like that cost efficient and that usable that we can provide every worker, at least every second worker, with this minimal sensor setup, should be connected, for example, to the mobile phone, streaming the data, all in with respect to the GDPR regulations, and then together, like data collection, let's see it like a goal for every worker at the facility to participate in a prevention system. So that will be the high-level goal.
Yes, I have one comment and two questions. I really like this what you're working on to reduce the sensors and be able to do this, which leads to my first question. In your results, you showed that right leg was not presented on any of your results. Did you lose that sensor data?
No, we didn't lose it, but one of the strategies based on the, let's say, phase similarity of left and right body side, and we just get rid of one body side, and in this example it was the right side, so it's only the left leg, but it will work on the right leg as well.
My other question is did you study the difference in gait between people? Like older, younger people, uneven gait, short steps, long steps, if that differs in the way your sensors measure the data? I don't mean speed, I mean people that walk unevenly or people that are hindered in some way or another.
Yes, so we had the need to collect the data ourselves because every available data were only on elderly people, because it's a huge field in geriatrics, and we only focused on like working age, and the participants were, don't ask me that in a specific numbers, but like 25 to 55, and we also studied the gait, because it was part of a bigger study. It was called Entrapon, where we studied if, for example, VR courses have an impact. So we measured before and after the VR sessions, for example, and we get a real deep dive into gait and in like age sectors, but I can't give you any numbers or insights on that without looking into my notes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, and I have a question here next to me from Regina.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I think any company struggles with the slips, trips, and falls. So we have also over 30% of our accidents as related. And I was thinking, what could be the potential use cases other than doing heat maps? Because if you have maybe 2 a year in a factory, how do you get a heat map? But did you think about into this direction on how can we help people to minimize destruction? So it's often a mix of destruction and flow condition, or even very often just destruction. So did you think into this direction, supporting people with sensors?
Thank you very much for this question. So let's not get confused between fall accidents and near falls, because what we're trying to detect is near falls. Not every near fall leads or ends in a real fall and fall accident and injuries, and only real falls are like written down. But near falls are happening quite often, but in the most cases you can get back your gait by pulling back your upper body to center your center of mass, to maybe do bigger step or something like that. And that's what we focus on to get a sense of where and when do near falls happen in order to improve by stop principles. And I think it can be work like hand in hand with distraction and maybe some psychological like tools to create a safer environment.
Okay, yeah. Okay, thank you very much. I think that was a very interesting discussion and questions about this research project. Now we would like to move on to our next speaker, and I would like to invite. I'd like to invite Gyula Szabo. He is professor of ergonomics at Óbuda University in the beautiful town of Budapest. He is representing here the Federation of European Ergonomic Societies. So his background is in ergonomics, and he's a university teacher and researcher. He has led several international projects in Erasmus or CEBUS projects on artificial intelligence, OSH and ergonomics. He's also active in the Hungarian Ergonomic Society, and that's why he's also representing the European. And I see you are eager to speak.
Okay. Over.
So I will use all my 8 minutes for the presentation.
15 minutes.
We were given 10 each. Okay. So I don't think we expected such a meeting at the end of this campaign. So at the beginning, there was no ChatGPT. We had just some algorithmic work management. So it's an absolutely different world like we started. So Gyula Szabo, and representing the Federation of European Ergonomic Societies. This federation is Federation of European Ergonomic Societies, so our members are European societies, meaning that ergonomics are everywhere. And it seems in this room are more ergonomics than I expected. So every presentation was very good example how you apply ergonomics principle, the participation, the user involvement, the usability, user experience. So everything was very, very nice. And we had several examples how you make workplace safer regarding musculoskeletal disorder prevention, applying artificial intelligence. So And it was the last campaign. And I'm very happy that I'm here again, because I can tell you that ergonomics is in this domain too. So for me, there is not too big difference between the musculoskeletal disorder prevention and between AI prevention or psychosocial effects prevention, because we are talking about fitting systems to humans. So this is the whole story. So we can see that we are doing the same faults, same errors, same efforts like we done in late 80s with the digitalization revolution. Maybe this time is faster, but the challenges and the prospect is the same. Maybe the temptations are even higher than that time we had. So we are talking about humans and machines. And yes, AI is not she, not he, not a person, but it's easier to think that ChatGPT is a friend, but no, it is not. It's a machine, and there are no chats, just information on the screen. And okay, we use this analogy and metaphors, so it makes our life easier. But 2 days ago, I asked, okay, we had a very nice chat, but please make it technical. Okay, so we don't have persona, we don't have use cases, we don't have some box in the dark. We have objects, we have algorithms, we have functions and subroutines, because and bits, maybe, and the hard drive. So this is in reality. It's easier to think that it's a person, and this changes the interaction between human and machine. So it's easier to think that it's a machine. Oh, I talk too much. So there are challenges, and I think we have some problems with digitalization and AIs, and it's from human factors perspective and from legal perspective, as we had in the questions already. So we have some answers from legal. From legislation, from the AI Act, we have some principles, and we try to develop ethical AI. But if you look at the principles, oversight and safety and predictability, so these are already implemented principles. So after the digitalization revolution, we developed lots of standards and principles and guidelines how we can implement the digital systems. And thank you, this standard series already has been shown, this 9241 ISO standard series. I can tell you that I'm referring no thousands of pages of standards that you can use, including how you design a keyboard, ending up with the requirements of, I don't know, speech recognition or speech generation systems, usability issues. So there are lots of knowledge over there, and as an ergonomist, I can tell you that there are professionals outside who can, and inside, who can help you to speed up your development process. So you needn't invent the warm water again and again, because this knowledge is already available and you simply can apply. So I try to somehow connect the AI principles to ergonomics or usability requirements. So controllability, consistent patterns, or fail-safe behavior. So everything you can see on the screen are requirements you want to feel when you interact with AI or with any other system elements, any other machines. And on the right side, you can see how I try to translate this to OSH language. So what we can expect at the workplace if we don't meet this criteria. So it's very, very parallel in my reading. So what we have, okay, so the dark side. So if you don't if you don't do appropriate, if you don't develop appropriate AI systems, or if you use heavily AI at the workplace and digital tools, you can expect several effects. And well, it's one side what you feel and what is the outcome. And well, okay, so this is always you start with some. If you do that, that will be the effect. So always you start your OSH training with something this. But well, you feel that you correct what is done. So it's very tempting to use, for example, ChatGPT or other large language models to do the job. So when you feel that, okay, it's a very, very, very good assistance, but maybe you feel that you don't do your job. You somehow are correcting the system. Maybe the control is not yours. Maybe you don't know what is happening. Maybe you feel that it's not you who is making the decision. So, and it's bad because we want control. So I personally like control. So I know this is my personality, but otherwise, so humans want to be in charge. So we want to be in charge. We want to make the decisions, and we want to know how the result appears on the screen. So we need the back information. And what I wanted to show you in this screen that we use in organizations AI with purpose. So we have several objectives. So this is a report on the light side, why organizations usually use AI. And on the right side, you can see that it will lead to negative health effect. So if we want to increase the speed, it will increase the stress. So we need somehow intervene. So if we don't somehow act at the design and in the use of technology, then we will have negative health effect in the workplace. Oh, time issue. So the solution, of course, is the human-centered design, human in the loop. So somehow keep humans in the loop. So somehow give you the feeling that you are in charge, that you know where you are, let you know what you can do with the system, to know what is the system state, what will happen, how you can modify the effect and so on. So how can we keep the decision at the human side? So we need to be active in the system. So not the system should lead the interaction. And of course, one possibility or the first possibility is to create good systems. So apply human factors and human-centered design principles in the design phase. But maybe we have possibilities later in the use. So that was the first part of my presentation, and what I presented in the rehearsal last week, and I tried to bring some insight what I personally do and what is what we could do. So for example, I wanted to start with a very nice risk assessment tool. Because we have lots of risk assessment tools. So it's based on Oier system with a Tinder interface. So I like Tinder interface very much, this Swipe. So it's very nice. So it's very good because it's all the knowledge of Oier and you can do. So do you need the site where you can download it? You will not have it. You will not have it. Why? Because this was created in 1.5 hours with Gemini 3 last week. Okay, that was a student work in an afternoon. Okay, first, and and the student had no background information. Just I walked in the classroom and told them that I need an Oier tool with a Tinder interface. Okay, and it worked after an hour, and I asked, but I want to use it in the mobile. You can. So simply I started to use it on mobile. Incredible. And it was not good because just Gemina invented 6 questions, and I asked to use some Oier tool, so it's the hair sector tool implemented. Unbelievable. So really you don't know what is reality, what is the imagination. So, well, be aware. So how you do it? So surely not this way. It needs lots of validation. And what we tried in other experiment, we tried to make risk assessment. So I will encourage risk assessment business as an example. We tried to make a risk assessment in a small company, it's 200-300 people company. And well, we made a tool, I think ChatGPT-based assistant to guide through middle managers and make a risk assessment to their site, to their facility. So it was very, very interesting. So my student who made this experiment was AI virgin before, so he started from scratch and built in 2 weeks a model to make a risk assessment, to implement a good OSH professional with ChatGPT, and then asked 10 people at the site to make the risk assessment, and it was very interesting outcomes. So they made it, and it was, so the system learned how to make risk assessment at this facility, so it was a good training session to the AI, this experiment. And it was interesting that he discovered with the system new risks. So he had to admit that with the system they had new risks developed. So it's, yeah, I need to finish. Yeah, I guess. Okay, I will tell you at the party in the evening if you are interested. So, but what I want to tell you, I have 3 more slides, but I don't finish. So what I want to tell you that it was very interesting, and it shows that we have plenty of opportunity really to include AI in the workplace and include human in the loop. So it's a possibility to include all this humanity and all our values in the prompt and in the system we implement. So we can implement in the system all the ethical, GDPR and other concerns and responses we have, and intellectual property business, so everything which is moral and ethical and safety issues, so we can include in the system methodically. And the other is that we need human in the loop when we use AI at the workplace. So it was a very good that he was, I mean the safety professional was there when the risk assessment was made, and he could ask the system after the session with the people, how did you do the risk assessment? And it means the best solution in this reading, so you do as you will do, but in my reading that it's a good solution to be together with the system and the professional and the target population. So if you use the system, it's the best if you are there, safety professional is there, and maybe you 3 of you make the assessment together. Or one was to me it was very interesting outcome that they, okay, I know, I'm concluding that he had calls from the organizations to please ask ChatGPT what should we do here, and it means everything they include from OSH profession in the system goes through the real profession. So nothing uncontrolled information. So they don't go and ask any system, unvalidated system, but they asked the professional from OSH related questions. Okay, thank you. But it was not my fault. Okay.
Many thanks, very, very interesting. I think there could be quite some questions for this interesting, innovative experiment.
Can I rent your students for a project? Can I rent your students for a project?
Yeah, sure. Unfortunately, we have a small margin, but of course.
Let's talk offline.
Thank you very much. I'm interested because you've explained how ChatGPT and so on have helped your students and we can grow on it, but I'm interested in how it has challenged your occupation such as a professor, because I'm young and I've finished my college during the ChatGPT era, so I know it's really helpful for copying and for making all these kind of things. So I see that it's a challenge, and that you have explained how you tell the students and how you have grown them on these kind of technologies, but how does it challenge also your job as a professor in order to know if they are really learning or they are just using new technologies in order not to study or to be able to cheat?
So this is actually I was referring several students. So, for example, the risk assessment at workplaces is done by a real professional who is on occupational safety and has a degree, so post-secondary. So he's actually a safety professional at a company. So this is one kind. The second example. The first example is a safety engineer student, BSc level. And I think for safety engineers is basic to be aware, be familiar with digital tools they can use in safety applications. So there I teach occupational safety and health through digital tools, because you can find digital tools for everything, and they are more open to learn one or other tools, maybe Oier or motion capture technologies, than to read the law and memorize it. So it's very, very interesting. So other example was, so motion capture is very interesting other topic. So with the same group, we crafted a motion capture and REBA risk assessment in one afternoon. So it's amazing. And we started from installing the Python on the computer, you know. So it's amazing, but it means, so sometimes it's part of imagination and skiffy, you know, but sometimes it's reality. So I don't know, in this group I see that it's reality for several companies, but for maybe in small and medium-sized enterprises, it's just something distant in the future. But I think if we don't have this technology in everyday use, we will have it in 3 years or maybe 5 years, but I think in 2 years. So it's with the speed we are developing, it's unbelievable. So yes, we have. It's very, very, very clear that we have several problems, and we need to consider GDPR and privacy and lots of problems, but it's progressing, and this is the future, so it's clear. Thank you for the questions anyway.
More questions? Worries, future worries or opportunities. I think it's good to hear that it also has something beneficial for safety, so people get interested into safety. That's really nice for health and safety to hear.
Yeah, it was interesting that we could use this on site, try to improve the interest, so the motivation, the commitment to safety. So it was not just a risk assessment, it was an OSH intervention. And it's, I think, very important to find a good story where there is an organic interest and attach OSH to that topic. And this happened at this company, that everyone is interested to AI tools, and OSH could be, at the company, be the lead of the AI transition. So it's, I think, very important, because in this way, maybe OSH will be positioned better to the future of this company. So it was an intervention itself to check this opportunity.
Thank you. It's time. And
Thank
what
you.
is the last message? As long as we keep the human in the loop, no?